All right, let's dive into something we all see every single day, digital ads. We're going to follow the entire journey an ad takes, right? From the start all the way to your screen. Let's get into it.
You know how this goes, right? You look up a pair of sneakers one time and suddenly, bam, ads for those exact sneakers are following you everywhere you go online. It feels a little like magic or maybe a little creepy, but it's not. It's actually a super fast, really complex system. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain and see exactly how it all works.
Okay, so where does the journey like that even begin? Well, it all starts with one key player, the advertiser.
So what is an advertiser? I mean, at its core, it's really just anyone, any company, any person trying to get a message out there. It could be a massive global brand, or it could be the coffee shop right down your street.
But if you want to boil it down, they're the ones with the money. They have a product to sell, a service to offer, and they are paying to get their message right in front of the perfect audience. And yeah, a lot of the time, that audience is you.
Okay, so you're an advertiser. You've got your message, you've got your budget. Now what? Well, the big question is, where do you actually go to buy the ad space? That's where the marketplace comes in. And it turns out, advertisers have a bunch of different ways to do this. They could go old school and make a direct deal with a website they like, or they could use a massive ad network. And then there's the whole automated world of programmatic advertising, which uses things like supply-side platforms, or SSPs, to help websites sell their ad space. And if you're looking for something a bit more exclusive, yeah, there are even private marketplaces for that.
So, right there, you see a really fundamental choice. A direct deal, that's kind of like calling up the editor of your favorite magazine and saying, hey, I want to reserve the back cover. You get total control over where your ad shows up, you know it's going to be on the homepage, not buried somewhere deep inside the site, and you can make sure it's not right next to your biggest competitor's ad. Programmatic, on the other hand, that's like unleashing a super smart, high-speed trading bot that bids on millions of ad spots in the blink of an eye. It's really that classic trade-off. Do you want precision and control, or do you want massive, incredible scale and speed?
So what about those ad networks we mentioned? Well, a great way to think about them is like a giant Costco or a wholesale store, but for ad space. They go out and bundle together all this ad inventory from thousands and thousands of different websites and apps. This lets advertisers just buy in bulk and reach a huge audience without the headache of trying to negotiate with every single site one by one.
Then you've got the other end of the spectrum, private marketplaces or PMPs. So if ad networks are the big wholesale store, PMPs are like the exclusive velvet rope invite-only auction. This is where the top-tier publishers offer up their absolute best premium ad spots to a hand-picked group of advertisers. They get first dibs on the good stuff before it ever hits the open market.
All right, so the advertiser has figured out where to buy their ads. The next big question is, how do they actually pay for them? Because in the digital ad world, there's definitely not just one price tag.
You can think of it like a menu of options, and which one you choose depends entirely on your goal. If all you want is for people to see your brand, just get eyeballs on it, you'll probably pay per 1,000 views, which is called CPM. But if you want people to actually visit your website, you'll pay per click, or CPC. And if your real goal is for someone to buy something, well then you use CPA, and you only pay when that sale actually happens.
And that, right there, is the key point. The pricing model isn't just about how you pay, it's a strategic choice. It directly ties what you're spending to what you're trying to achieve. It makes every single dollar accountable to a specific goal. But of course, the strategy doesn't stop there. This whole world is always getting smarter, always evolving to be more efficient.
Let's just take that CPM model we talked about. The old school way is a standard CPM, where you just pay a flat rate. But now there's dynamic CPM, or DCPM. And this is way smarter. The price actually changes in real time based on how valuable that specific ad spot is at that very moment. It's all about making sure the advertiser pays a fair, competitive price and not a single penny more than they need to.
So this brings up a pretty big problem, right? Let's say you're running one campaign where you pay for clicks and another where you pay for views. How in the world do you figure out which one is actually doing better? It's a total apples and oranges situation.
Well, there's an answer. It's a metric called eCPM, which stands for effective cost per mil. And honestly, it's like the great equalizer for measuring ad performance.
The best way to think about eCPM is as a universal translator. Seriously, it takes all those different models, clicks, views, sales, you name it, and it converts them all into one single common language. And that language is, how much money did we make for every 1,000 times this ad was shown? This finally lets advertisers make a real apples-to-apples comparison and see which of their campaigns are actually the most profitable.
Okay, so we've walked through the players, the the marketplaces, the different ways to pay, but let's zoom out. Why does all this complicated nitty-gritty detail actually matter?
Well, for the advertiser, it's everything. Every single one of these choices is a critical piece of the puzzle. Picking the right marketplace, matching it with the right pricing model, using the right metrics to measure it all. That's the difference between just throwing money away and running a campaign that actually drives real results for their business. It's this constant cycle of choosing, measuring, and then tweaking to get it just right. And for you, the person who sees the ad, understanding this whole journey kind of changes how you look at it. The next time an ad pops up on your screen, you'll know it's not just some random picture. It's the winner of a lightning-fast auction. It was targeted with a very specific goal in mind and paid for using a precise strategy. It's this tiny, incredibly complex piece of tech and business that literally fought for and won the chance to get your attention for just a few seconds.